Hi everyone, my name is Bode Brown, studio manager here at CAYA Productions, and you're welcome to another amazing episode of CAYA Lounge. Now, CAYA Lounge is set up in a way to interview veterans in the industry, ranging from musicians, artists, producers, name it. It has a very, very wide covering. And so today we have an amazing person in the house today. He's an artist, a sweet one for that matter. When I mean, you see, he's Abuja's finest. This guy is amazing. So I want to let me take my time and read his bio. Meet Jarell Ebuka. Jarell Ebuka, the animator who also happens to be an independent singer-songwriter and producer, bringing art to life through his music. With his excellent guitar playing technique, his soulful voice, and a unique songwriting style, he captures not only the ears of his listeners, but their hearts. Jarell Ebuka. You see this last one, it interests me. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, man. Thanks. What an introduction.
I really love this. I mean, captures not only the ears of his listeners, but also their hearts. Did you write this or it was management?
A bit of both. But I was just saying the truth.
No, most definitely.
Yeah, exactly.
It tells.
Yeah.
A singer songwriter who also is a great orator. So that being said, let me go to asking you. I mean, you say capture not only the ears of your listeners but their hearts. So what's your listeners like? Like what's the demographic? Can you give us
demography? I think it varies. It varies, but when I really took my time to do my research on who my core fans are, I found out they're like mostly people that either in my age bracket, give or take 5 years.
Okay.
And and they go through the same thing I'm going through. And mostly men, for example. Yeah. Funny enough, it's actually mostly guys. Because I feel like when I write based on like my own life experiences. And I feel like more guys relate to that as opposed to women. Yeah. So when I check, on Instagram you can check your distance.
Yeah.
It was mostly guys, and I was like, oh, okay, I understand. Yeah. So that's my conclusion for it.
Okay, so speaking of this is your listeners now. What's your fan base like? So here's why I'm asking the question. It's very is like you said, the back end of actual listeners. But the people who actually men actually who is more vocal? Is the ladies. Yeah?
The ladies are only vocal when I'm performing.
When you perform.
When I'm performing, that's when the ladies are vocal. But men, they're the ones that actually DM me like, guy, this thing you wrote here, I've been going through the same thing. And
amazing.
Yeah, so it's like, I don't know, when I say, I feel like my fans are like just regular people that are looking for an outlet, or because me, like I said before, it's like most of the things I write about is either something that like made a big impact in my life, or if sometimes even a small impact. And I feel like with my life experience, the people that relate to it more are like most more guys. Guys are the ones that DM me the most actually.
How do you? I read in your bio that you're building a fan base. So what's that like? Like how intentional are you? What measures do you put in place to like build? And what's like the number now? Is there a number you're looking towards? And
right now, I'm just looking to grow my listeners on streaming platforms and my social media followers. And there are ways I go about it. Mostly because I'm still fairly unknown. Yeah. Yeah, I think I am. No, compared to what I have in my head, I'm still fairly unknown. And I think one way to capture listeners is using something that they're already familiar with. So if you check my Instagram now, I make like high quality audio and video of covers that people in my demographic, like my fans, can relate to. So you see some throwbacks from like exactly, some throwbacks, some new songs that like artists that are within my or my range, like a similar artist to myself. And I do covers. Sometimes I put an original here and there, but like to build the fan base, I put covers. Also on my mailing list, I try as much as possible. Although I haven't been as intentional as I used to be. I try as much as possible to send a voice note like every month. Yeah, exactly.
I'm fine too.
Exactly. I send a voice note every month. So I feel like doing that or sending a video is a more like it's more personal as opposed to just sending a broadcast message like a guy can stream my music, new music out, you know. So if you notice, between the last time I put out an original music was in 2020.
Was it the one in the EP? The EP.
Yeah, the EP. Yeah, that was in 2020, and I think I've managed to stay relevant since then without putting out any new stuff. Yeah, so it's just been I put out an acoustic EP last year, and now I'm working on an album. But in that time, I still try to connect with people on social. Not yet, not yet. Even for the first single, I still don't have a date. But I try to connect with people on social media just by posting my regular day to day because people don't want to feel like they are being sold to. You understand?
How do you mean?
It's like if imagine you're following me here, and the only interaction you're seeing from me is come to my show, come to my to my listening events, come to listen to my song. So you don't really know anything about me. It's just do this for me, do this for me. It's like, what can I do for you?
Amazing.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, yeah.
What's the one song Jarell Ebuka is known for? I know that different, but what's that one that you know that people might almost call you to name of the song, the title, instead of your name? What's that?
It's Saved. Saved.
Really?
Yeah, Saved. Saved or Abuja.
I mean,
yeah, Saved or Abuja.
I would think it's Abuja.
No, it's Saved or Abuja. The one thing, there's a time I did a show and I was about to leave the stage. People now started screaming, Saved, Saved. I'm like, oh, okay. Let me play Saved. So I feel like that's the main song that people know me for. Then Abuja is like secondary.
Can you share the process? Like, okay, so how did the song get to the from the point you were inspired of the song, or maybe it was you, like from the point of the song coming to you till I, as your listener,
is this for Abuja or okay? Let me just give you with Abuja.
Okay, that's cool.
So with Abuja, what had happened? The way you heard it is a story. Abuja is like a kind of storytelling. So the way you heard it is exactly how it happened. So I was with there was this girl we weren't really seeing ourselves, but we're just like we're friends.
Okay.
And we're having a drink, and then she now started telling me about how she doesn't know anywhere outside Abuja and she's been here all her life. Okay. And that was when I just nearly come back. And the more we drank, the more she she was getting emotional. She was.
Were you using your pen?
No, I was just no. It was. I was like, I was because I felt like it was impactful to me because I never met anyone that just lived in one city. Like, no, I've met people that have lived in one city, but I've never like. It was a big opposite of myself where I've lived in so many places, and I finally came back home and see someone that's never left, and she was about to go for her MSc. And yeah, exactly. And yeah, it was a kind of a big shocker to me.
You produced that yourself?
Yeah. I produced all the songs I've put out. I produced it myself. Yeah.
Well done,
Yeah,
man.
thanks, man. Thanks.
I mean, speaking of being like you said, like a little opposite of what she was. Like you've been in different countries.
Yeah.
I mean, you actually travel.
Yeah.
You know, you came back from London.
Yeah.
You came from London to Nigeria.
Yeah.
What's the experience like? Like playing in London or being an artist in London and being an artist in. Now, there's a thing where it feels like because you lived in London
for a while,
yeah. Because you lived in London, you come down to Nigeria and you're already a success.
Yeah.
Is that true?
I'll say it depends. It depends on the demographic of your listeners.
Okay.
So, for example, while I was in London, because I lived in Bradford before I moved to London. It's all England. Okay. But I spent about 2 years in London. In those 2 years, I was gigging almost every day. Like back to back from busking to train stations to open mics.
I was going to ask about that.
Yeah.
Because I read it. I saw 150 gigs.
About
in the space of 2 years.
Yeah, and I'm just
2004 to 2006.
No, 2014, middle of 2014 to early 2016.
Early 2016, yeah. So I was wondering, like, wait, how did you come about so many? Till I
Is
read, I could understand the busking
yeah,
part. Like,
yeah,
okay, I know people play on the street. So what's
yeah.
like the experience down there, and what's it like?
It's I feel like with London, yeah, it's a city,
Okay,
and if there's a city, there are going to be musicians. So whether you like it or not, it's going to push you. It's basically a musician city as well. So it's going to push you out of your boundaries. When you go to one open mic and you see this guy, you guys become friends. Ask him, what are you doing tomorrow? So I'm busking down at this place. You want to come? So you do it together, and after a while, it just become part of the culture. So whether you like it or not, it's going to train you to become better than you are.
amazing.
But the downside of staying in London, especially doing the kind of music I do, is that you're just another number. You understand? So in my experience, while you're in London, you hear amazing artists, amazing, but people that are listening is just another day for them, so they don't really pay attention. You understand? But when you now bring something like that to Nigeria, you stand out from what everybody else in Nigeria is doing. So for example, if you hear I don't want to say like names, but if you hear normal Niger music,
Yes.
it's just another music. But if you take it somewhere else that nobody has heard that kind of thing, like what the hell is happening? Exactly. So it's like the opposite with me. You understand? So if someone is making Afrobeats in London, yeah, and brings it to Nigeria, it's just going to be like, you understand? Yeah. So that's what. So it depends. It's not like Nigerians are looking at people's success outside to come back. You know, I think it comes down to the type of music and if you're what do you call it? What's that thing in economics? Supply and demand.
Okay.
It comes down to supply and
Okay.
demand.
So
Yeah.
let me ask now, you're an artist.
Mm.
What's the metrics for success for you? But let me see, below, as
Very.
well down here. How do you measure your success?
To be honest, like I think when I've made it as an artist, for me, sure, and this is going to be different from everyone else. I'm not looking for. I mean, if I get a Grammy, that would be nice. If I get tons of followers, that would be nice. But I think when I can finally say, okay, I've now I can rest, but now I've made it. It's when I get a signature guitar. So if a company
Oh,
exactly, exactly, you
makes sense.
understand?
Makes sense.
Bro, imagine seeing your initials on the guitar and people are buying it. You understand? So
Makes sense.
that's the dream for me when I have a signature guitar.
Okay, so
Yeah, like for example, Ed Sheeran has his own signature
yeah,
guitar.
I think with Martin.
Martin, and now he's moved to Loudon.
Yeah, I saw that
Yeah,
brand too.
yeah, he's
So
moved to
I'm
Loudon.
wondering if I think there's somebody in Nigeria too who is I think Femile
Yeah,
has
family.
this.
No, he has a brand. He has an endorsement. I don't know if
Okay,
actually before don't quote me anyway. I know Family has an endorsement with this guitar company, but I don't know if he has his own
okay,
signature guitar. For example, you know James Bay.
no,
Come on, let it go. Anyways, he started playing this Epiphone hollow body guitar. Um, is this Epiphone Casino guitar is red with white a white pick guard,
okay,
and it's very rare. It was very rare at the time, so he was just playing it over and over again. So James Bay started in like 2014. So I think in 2019 or 2018 they made
companies
Epiphone remade that guitar.
and made it his
Yeah,
initial
made it his
signature.
signature guitar. So if you're buying that guitar, you're buying the James Bay signature Epiphone.
So now we are talking gears. Give
Yeah.
us an eye into your gear world. What's it like? So here's what we do.
Hmm.
Give us gear for the road. Give
Okay.
us gear for like home production. How you what's your go-to softwares and stuff for
Yeah.
making your sound? What
Yeah.
it is on the outside for your streaming. So
Okay. With my gear, I always try my best to keep it as simple. Like I'll try to get the biggest sound
okay,
with the smallest equipment.
amazing.
Yeah, with that, I try to keep it as simple as possible. So, my speakers, I use an MTM iLoud.
Okay.
They are really
Yeah,
amazing
so
speakers, but they're very
yeah.
small, and the sound that comes out from it. I use I started off with for production. I started off with um, FL Studio. At the time, it was Fruity Loops. Then moved on to Pro Tools. Did a couple of years with Pro Tools. Then moved on to Logic. Logic was where I spent like from 2010 to like was it to 2021.
Why is
Um,
that?
I don't know, Logic was just so easy for me, and that was like when I
From
moved.
Prologic.
Exactly. That's when I moved to Mac, and I was like, yeah, just I know Mac. I started with GarageBand,
Mm-hmm.
so
Oh
GarageBand
yeah,
is
yeah,
like the
yeah.
stepping stone
It
to Logic.
exactly, it was on Apple
Exactly.
devices aside
Yeah,
just
yeah,
iPhones, iPads.
yeah. And at the time, Logic they were doing Apple they were doing this sale on Logic, so I
Oh,
just bought it, and that's I was there for a while up until I moved from um Mac to Windows,
okay.
and no Logic on Windows.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's your mic?
I use an SM7B.
You love it.
Yeah, yeah,
Why?
yeah, yeah. I use that SM because when I was moving down to Nigeria, I was like, I'm not gonna have access to like a proper soundproof
Okay.
studio,
Okay.
so I wanted a mic that could just catches my voice
The
and
way it is
nothing
flat.
else. Exactly. So I was like, I wanted a dynamic mic. Then I now checked out the SM7B, and this was in 2014, 2015.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, yeah, I'm getting this mic. Yeah. It
And
sounded
the mic
amazing.
is aesthetically
It
pleasing.
looks nice. It looks,
Yeah, it's
but
very
there's there's this other rectangular one. It's I don't know if you've seen. I can't remember the name. When I remember, I'll let you know.
okay. That's
Yeah.
cool. So we have balance now of for what's your guitar?
I use a Farida.
Fine.
I've got two guitars. An acoustic Farida. The brand they've like dissolved. It's no longer there
So
anymore.
you share the story.
Yeah,
Sad.
yeah. The brand. I think they didn't survive 2020.
Mm.
Yeah, they didn't survive 2020, but hopefully we can revive it because it's still one of the best sounding guitars I've
I
ever
love it
played.
so
Yeah,
much. I
yeah.
really love it so much.
Then I have a Fender Telecaster for like electric.
Electric.
Yeah. Then on the road, I just keep it simple: acoustic guitar, a few pedals, and that's it.
Amazing. What would you busk in Nigeria?
I I think I would, but I feel like if I'm busking in Nigeria, it's going to be somewhere where there's like traffic, like foot traffic, like people are moving. So it's going to be either in the mall or just in the car
Wow.
park or something. But I think it's going to be difficult busking in Nigeria
Why did you say so?
if because people aren't really. It's like if I feel like if you're busking, you have to busk on the street, and if you're playing on the streets. Well, actually, no, no, no. Now I think about it, I don't know, man. I don't know. I would like to see someone do it.
Because I thought you were going to say like people don't
No, no,
respond to
no, no,
something
no.
foreign.
No, people respond actually.
Because I feel like okay, it's the same thing. They would
Mm.
actually respond to
Mm.
this particular one, you know. So uh, what's your as an artist?
Mm.
Do you have what can you share as I mean looking back to yourself in past?
Mm.
What's this thing that I wouldn't want to do again, like a mistake? Things I've learned
Mm.
that you would love to share. That man, looking back, I'm like, I will never try this again.
Yeah, I think when I first started off here, I was a bit too mesmerized or enchanted by big names. You understand?
How do you mean?
Like big names like, oh, I've worked with this person, I've worked with that person. Or if a big name in the industry tells you this is what you should be doing, this is what you should be doing.
I get.
Yeah, I was a bit like um I was in awe of these people, you know.
Okay.
And it was like I stopped thinking for myself. So anything that anybody tells me, I'm like, oh, if this person says this, then it must be the way. And you start, and then you now neglect your own decisions and start following. Next thing you know, years have passed and you've not done anything because you're listening to that person.
I understand that perfectly.
Exactly. So I feel like it's not as easy. It's easier said than done. But trust your instincts, man, and listen to you first, and go with your gut feeling before you listen to someone that has quote unquote made it. You understand? Go with your gut feeling first before anything else. Yeah.
It's like saying it's like the way you have Farid and Farida served you all through the years, and if that company gets back up, man, they're looking for you. Than saying, "Oh, I was waiting for a what's the biggest? What are the big?"
I don't want to
I
name.
don't
I don't want to name names. I don't want to
Okay,
name
exactly. So if you see you were waiting for those ones to say, "Ah, come," then you wouldn't have had a Jarell Ebuka
Yeah,
today.
exactly.
And you know, it's been amazing having you on the show.
Yeah.
And,
Thank you so much,
is
man.
there
Thank
any
you.
other thing you would want to?
My EP comes out next year. No, no, not my EP. My album comes out early next year. We're looking at March, but we don't have a date yet. And the single comes out. The first single comes out in September. No date yet, sha, but it's definitely coming out in September. Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks
You're
for
playing
having me, man.
for us today.
Yes, I'll test out some of the songs I've recorded in the album, and I'll see the reaction and see which one I should leave there and which one I should take out. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. That's
Thank
gonna be
you very
fun.
much.
Thanks for having me, man.
Welcome.
Thanks.
Welcome. All right, everyone. Thank you very much for being on the show with us, CAYA Lounge. I hope you took down notes because I mean, to me, I was blessed by such amount of wisdom that came from the mouth of Jarell Ebuka. All right, everyone. From we to you, CAYA Productions. Is stay tuned. Subscribe to this channel. All right, and have a blessed day. Bye.